Hello, today's video will be about cutting down and modifying the Knipex Cobolt 160 bolt cutter. So this is the smallest they make right now, and even so, I believe it can be made a bit smaller. So why I'm saying that? As you see, there is some fishing gear here, so that should give you a hint why I'm looking to shrink it and save some weight there. Yeah. So how everything started, I will show you in a couple of pictures here, and that should give you a clue. So this is me fishing, and that over there, it's a pike. Then this is also me after unhooking the pike. As you can see, it's not so pretty. And this is a close-up to that. A treble hook, kind of, so the pike managed to hook me while releasing itself, yeah? So this is not a very pleasant moment in any fishing trip. And the problem is, in such cases, you need something to cut the hook with so that you can take it out. So what you normally will be doing will be cutting the barb of the skin of the hook, yeah, so that little piece over there, that will allow you to extract it afterwards, or you'll cut behind if you have access, if you have better access there, and that way it will allow you to take it out the way it came in. Yeah. The problem is you have to have something to cut with when you want to do that, and most people will have a Leatherman with them. Not necessarily this one, but most of them will have the same problem, at least what I know of so far. So what will be the problem? I try to simulate that because I don't want to impale myself right now just for the purpose of filming a clip. But this is pretty much the exact same thing that happened to me. Instead of my skin, there is some paper. Now, if you try to cut the barb of that hook with this Leatherman, I'll put it sideways so that you can better see this. There is no way I can reach in there under that barb to be able to cut, regardless how I position the Leatherman. It's just because the cutters are at the base of the pliers, not the very tip, so that doesn't give me the reach as it would have if it would have been like the cutting part on the tip of the plier. Yeah, so I cannot reach it, I cannot cut, yeah. So whatever I'm trying, it will not work. If I try to cut here, first of all, I don't know if I have the strength. Second of all, I do not achieve anything. So therefore, something like this that has the reach can work better. Yeah. Now the problem is the weight. So if you have, let me clear the table here for a bit and bring the hook, bring the tear on there. Okay, Now it calibrated, unfortunately, because it's an LED screen. You'll see it flickering. Anyway, it's 197 grams, so 200 grams compared to 246 of the Leatherman and compared to 68 of the Knipex Cobra XS. So yeah, I don't want to carry all that weight when I'm wading, and as you saw, I was in the water knee deep, and therefore I don't want to carry. I already have a lot of fishing gear with me, and I don't want to carry 200 grams of pliers just for that purpose. And I would much prefer to have something like this to do that with. Yeah, unfortunately I couldn't find any bolt cutters this size. I did write an email to Knipex asking them to consider making a smaller piece, a smaller pair of bolt cutters than this one. I showed them the exact same pictures I showed you today, and most likely they will so they told me they will consider it. However, it will be most likely a market share problem there. So is there the revenue out of that pliers necessary to cover the expenses and generate some profit? And that means in a simple way, is there a market for it? So I believe this will be an option for you guys. If you want something like this, this will be the option to prove that there is a market for that. I suggest put some comments below this video and kind of saying if it is if you'd want or not something like this, if it you consider it will be useful to you. Yeah, and we'll see how it goes from there. If they decide that there is a market, maybe we'll see something like that, as something like this in this size in the future. However, until then, I have no other option than to modify the existing one, and that will be quite a bit of work to be done. And let's see if it's worth the trouble. Yeah. So what I'm trying to find out first is if I have if I will gain if I will reduce enough weight. Yeah, so first I need to find the balance point of the pliers, and then from the balance point to the tip of the pliers I will take a measurement. In this case is 9.5 centimeters. So half of the weight of these pliers is in this back part of the pliers. Yeah. So now if I want to cut something, I need to know exactly, or at least to approximate, how many grams I will shave while doing that. Now, where do I want to cut it? After playing with it, I decided that the best place to cut it will be just right here behind the writing on the pliers. Of course, first you need to remove the sleeves, yeah, from the handle. So why there? Because the shape of the pliers will be ergonomically in kind of this position, this grip, if you'll have a shorter handle. So you see that it's kind of forming to my palm and to my fingers quite nicely. Now with that as well, these pliers have the ability to bend wire, so it's kind of a mini plier. These bolt cutters have kind of a plier incorporated in the back here. So when I shorten the length of the handles, I will end up with my palm, some part of my skin being exactly in that gap, and that means I can actually pinch my skin there. So what I will try to do is I will try to shave a bit of this, because I will not use that feature. It's not useful for me in fishing. And as you can see, I already marked with a pencil exactly how much I want to shave out of there. Now, if you worry about the integrity of the pliers, please do consider that the weakest point of these pliers will be here. Yeah, so that will be the part that is the weakest on the handles of the pliers, and therefore, considering the fact that this is almost 3 times, is not, if not 4 times as thick as it is there, I will say that you will not affect it too much if you shave a little bit of it. I will leave some of it, so I will not grind it all the way down. I will leave some of it. As you can see, I pinched stuff in the past with it. You can see it's shining there. So I would leave that part of it still on my pliers, just to have, just in case I need to bend a wire or a hook or something like that. But I want to shave a bit of weight from there and to make it safer for my hands as well. Another thing I want to do is reach. So as you can see, if you need to cut something close to the skin, you need to be able to get as close to the skin as possible. And what I will do, I will just angle down just a little bit the very tip of it, kind of over there, to allow me to get closer underneath to something, so that I can reach better and cut it. And also, one thing to consider is shaving a bit of the interior of the handle, because when you shrink it down, you can generate less force with your hands. You don't have the same leverage as before, so therefore the force will be that you can generate with just the palm of your hand will be smaller. That means you can get along with a little bit of shaving there that will kind of diminish the resistance of the handle of the plier. So I'll try to achieve something like this. It's the same principle they applied in the Cobra XS series and the other mini pliers. So achieving something like an I-beam, it's preserving much of the force by shaving a bit of weight there. Yeah, so unfortunately I don't have the machines to mill that out, so I'll have to grind it down. I'll see how well I can do that, but hopefully I will shave a couple of grams from there. Now, considering that I have roughly, so from that writing to the end are roughly 3.5 centimeters out of 9.5. That's a third roughly. That means that I will be able to shave about 30 grams just by cutting. With what I'm taking out from here, with what I'm shaving there, and what I'm shaving from the inside, hopefully I'll be able to take down the weight of this plier out of this plier. That means that the remaining result will have, for the same weight, I will have 2 tools in my pocket. Now, being smaller, it's also more pocketable. You can consider that even for EDC, and yeah, it will be easier to conceal and have with you. Yeah, so that's the plan for it, and that's what I have in mind for these pliers. Let me know if you guys are interested. Now, why I chose this plier? They are rated by Knipex to go up to 3 millimeters thick piano wire. I've seen videos where people were able to cut with them 4 millimeter bolts. so they can take more abuse than what's rated on them. However, keep in mind that for warranty purposes, you have to kind of keep it to the rating, keep the use to the rating. But 3mm piano wires or hardened steel, it's a bit a lot. So what I've noticed, if I dedicate these pliers mostly for fishing from now on, or maybe even EDC carry, I will have something like this. This is a Gamakatsu twice 2x treble hooks. You can see there 1.3 millimeters, or on the other side 1.75. These are forged, yeah, so you can see they are kind of flat on one side. So 1.7 millimeters. Then if I go to something bigger, like a 1.5 ounce jig, I will have something like, again, 177, 142. One of the bigger hooks out there are on frogs, and this will be again 1.5 millimeters, or let's put it with the tip, 175 on the interior. Also, big spoons like this one for musky fishing. The musky guys will have bigger hooks on them. So this is again 170, 180 depending on where you measure. And then the bigger hooks I have is this jig hook, which is roughly 10 centimeters long, and this will be 2.37, so let's say 2.4 millimeters. So nothing gets even close to those 3 millimeters rating. Now the way a bolt cutter works is that higher rating will be the closest to the fulcrum there, yeah, so to the joint point. That's where the pliers will have the most amount of force when you are using them. So even by shortening them and by grinding the little bit of the tip, I will still preserve that 3 millimeter piano wire capability next to the fulcrum there. And I may jeopardize a bit the very tip of the plier by grinding them at an angle there, but I don't plan to extend that more than this part here, yeah. So I don't want to get too close. I want to preserve the capability of the pliers and just shave a bit of the tip on the back of it. And yes, you will be able to generate less force after cutting them down. You have to have a bit more power to exercise to be able to cut down thicker hardened steel closer to the rating. So that also will you have to keep in mind that will not affect too much of the use, or you don't jeopardize so much the plier if you shave just a little bit in the interior of the handle there, yeah. So you want to leave the exterior exactly as it is to have some comfort there, but you do want to take down some weight from the interior of it. And at the end, maybe I will do the same thing as with the Cobra, just round it a little bit so that it will be still comfortable to the touch there, yeah. And yeah, so that's the plan. If you consider this will be something useful to have on your fishing kit, like something like 140 grams cutting pliers, which I hope I will achieve after doing this modification. It's not ideal, but still it's better than what I have right now. comment below, and maybe Knipex will see this and they will decide to invest in making something like that, a smaller bolt cutter. If you want to use it in, so the hooks I showed you were for freshwater fishing mostly, yeah. If you want to use in saltwater, most likely you will be on a boat and it's not a problem to have this with you. I do have this plier with me when I'm fishing from a boat, but when I'm wading or fishing from a shore, especially if I have to hike a lot, this will I will feel this in my kit, so I don't want to carry that much weight, and most of the times I will just have a Leatherman. Now Leatherman 200 and I believe 40 grams or 60 grams, somewhere in there. This is 200 grams, 196, 197, and this is 50. So these two together are just a little bit more than the Leatherman. Yes, they will not give me the same capability. However, for what I need, I will always prefer these ones together when I go fishing than a Leatherman from now on. So yeah, keep that in mind. You may do more work with the two of them combined that you can do with the Leatherman. And if you can keep the weight even lower than full Leatherman, even if you add a small forceps with you to unhook fish, or even a small saw, you will be pretty much getting the same use out of both of them as you would with the Leatherman. So in fishing scenarios, I would prefer to go with this over this if my modification will be successful. So let me know how what you think about it. Comment below if you want Knipex to take it into account when they decide if they want to make something like that or not, because if there is no market, there is no reason for them to invest. Yeah, so if you are interested, they may do it. If you guys are not interested, then they may not. So yeah, I will say I will stop here for now. I will get back with another video when this modification is done. Until then, take care and have a good day.